Alright, I got people wanting to see better video and stuff on this Mercedes. I'm sorry it's dirty, it's dusty. Been sitting on the carport since I washed it about 3 weeks. Tires are basically brand new. I put them on last fall and they probably got 100 miles on them. We don't never drive it. There's no rust on this car that I know of. There's a deal with that. Bumpers are straight. Bumpers are clean. 1986. Trunk is clean. Got an extra oil filter there. It's got a brand new battery in the back. I put that on about a year ago. And the wheels are the chrome ones, but you know, they're not perfect. They're 1986. Mud and stuff. Looks like maybe up under the fender wells may have some undercoating or something on them. Maybe they put that on in Germany for sound deadener. I don't know. It's pretty clean. The front end's perfect. Everything on it works that I know of. Of course, we don't drive it enough to... My cat got on top. I'm sorry about that. But the top is pretty good shape, but there's a couple little places on it. You probably should have a brand new top put on it. There's a little place right there splitting. See the light starting to show here where it folds up. Well, a couple years ago I had a little hole there, and this was black. I got one of them iron-on patches, and I put it on top and bottom both and ironed it on there, and it looked pretty good, but it's faded out. So I am what I am. Alright, the little rubber mat for this door sill is missing, and it's inside. This seat here, for whatever reason, I think's possibility could have been changed. The reason I'm saying that is because it's like new. Well, it ain't like new, but it's pretty close to being like new. And over there on that one, there's a couple of places where it's kind of dry rotted split. So I don't know if the people had this in Florida, rode it around enough that being the rain, it got rained in it, or maybe this seat was really bad and they replaced that one, not the other one. But that little place of splitting there, that kind of showed up in the last this past year or so. Started seeing that, so it could be the other one was real bad and it got replaced and this and didn't. But this, as you can see, that's just now being something to be concerned about. Little rubber thing come off of here is in my glove box or somewhere. I just saw it the other day. It needs to be glued back on there. Seat belts are here. Original first aid kit's back here. And you see how this seat is made here in the back where the cushion part comes down over it? Over on that one it doesn't. That's what made me think maybe it came out of a different kind of car. I'm not, well, maybe not a different kind of car, maybe a different year. Something about the upholstery is a little different. Looks the same other than, come around here and look at it again. See how it doesn't come all the way back over this? It's like the bottom part of the seat might have been in a different car. Other than that, I don't know. They look the same. I don't know about these. Now, since we've had it, I have replaced the steering knuckle on the bottom of the shaft. I've replaced this handle here. The little ball right on the end was snapped off. There was a little bit of handle left. It still worked. There's that first aid box. We probably don't drive this thing 100 miles a year. We've had it about 4 or 5 years. I don't know if you can see these numbers makes any sense or not, but there's whatever this is for, I don't know. Capacity, weight. So that's that. Radio works. The air conditioner needs to be charged. It was working a little bit when we first got it, but I noticed when we rode it somewhere last year, actually, I never did have it charged. But we put the top down and ride it when we were riding it most of the time. So there's that. It does have, I mean, it's 86 model. It's got a few issues. The floor, door seal, rubber, everything on this side looks good. The other one was in the back in the trunk, and it was kind of cracked and all, and I think it just wasn't no reason to try to put it back on. Up underneath the bottom. Let's see. Look under here. It had never been cleaned or anything under here, but everything seems to be in order. I don't see no rust on anything. So I figure our price we have on it, is fair for the particular car that it is. I know if it was a Nissan, some kind of Versa, it wouldn't be worth $200, but this is a Mercedes. It cost about $40,000 brand new, and it does drive and ride like a dream. There's a slight little amount of play in the steering, but I think that could be adjusted on the nut that's on top of the steering box. I did replace that joint that goes between the shaft and that, so the little rubber in that coupling there was worn away. It just made it feel funny. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. It was still rubber in there, but I got a brand new joint and put on there and replaced that handle. I got books for it. I got books for a couple other years in there too for different models they made around that time. So I guess somebody needed a book to look something up, they'd have it. This antenna has probably been from the original first owner. I figure it must have been a doctor or something. I don't know. He was somebody who had one of the first cell phones. The antenna's there, but there's no cable to it. And I don't really know if these antennas are supposed to go up and down or not. This one don't, but it probably, if it's supposed to, I guess it might need replaced if somebody's worried about it working. But the car looks good. The paint's not too old on it. There's a faded place right here that's started showing the last few months, and a place right here with a clear peeled off. It has been repainted at least once. I looked it all over one time, and I can't prove it because I don't know, but I thought maybe it might have had a front fender bender or something right here. Might have be the reason why it was painted. The tires I took off, whoever had it before me didn't never drive it neither. They were like new, but they were 10 years old. I had to get rid of them. So these tires, these Kellys, it drives beautiful with them on. But the other ones were just old. I was getting kind of scared to go on them, even though they still look new. If the battery hadn't run down from sitting here, we'll see if it'll start. It's showing, oh hell, that is the key I want. Key I want's a key I just brought out just to do this. I don't believe my Chevrolet key will fit in. Mercedes got an oddball weird key. I had an extra key made not long ago. It cost me like 30 bucks, 35 bucks. Tack, everything works. It's got 167,719 miles showing. I will say this about the miles on this thing. Sometimes when I drive it, the miles don't ring up. I don't know if there's something slipping in there, but the mile per hour works perfectly. And they've been running about a month. They probably need to fire it up once in a while. Gas tank, I just filled it up not long ago. Got about everything on it. Radio plays beautiful. So I won't bore you with that. Electric windows. I had this driver's side glass slipped out of the track, and I had a guy who worked on Mercedes from where he worked in a dealership years ago. Took it to him, and he repaired all that for me. He's actually the guy that put the joint on for the steering down there too. So this is up underneath the top. I told you I put the little patch on there, put top and bottom, ironed it on. I can't believe it worked, but it did. Got the little tool down here for locking the top down. I don't know. It's in pretty good shape. It's not 100% perfect by no means. It's a 86. We keep it on a carport since we've had it nearly 5 years, and it gets dusty and dirty. I usually wash it the day before we're going to ride it somewhere, so sometimes I have been known just to back it out in the driveway and wash it just for the heck of it. But if there's anything, this is the wipers here. I don't remember how they work. Somehow, there it is. I can't even remember nothing. All right. Anyway, that's it. Hope that anybody comes to look at it. I hope they don't get here and think they're going to get a $15,000 560 SL. It's not a show vehicle. It's in good shape and ain't tore up. The only thing I could say be it something you might look at is replacing the seat cover, at least on the passenger side. Could use some detailing. The engine could probably use pressure wash. I think anybody had it, they'd be proud to drive it around, go to a cruise in or a car show or whatever. Been offered money by dealers for it before, but we didn't want to sell it. And been offered $65,000 and $7,000 for it several times, but we thought it was worth probably about 10 to 12 at that particular time. You're talking 4 or 5 years ago. So we're dealing now. I got a good price on it, I feel like, and I can negotiate just slightly on it. All right, people. I gotta go in the house. I'm gonna put this thing on YouTube so everybody can view it.